The 2012 Miss Olympia was, even though I think I was at my best this year at the Olympia, I don't think it was my best ever. We're still trying to figure out little things that my body's responding to and not responding to. Depending upon how long I prep for, depends upon what the time frame is and how many shows I do. This year I've been dieting since right before the Arnold, so I've been dieting since the last week of February. Bodybuilding is something, it's a self-induced pain, and you have to suffer, and you torture yourself with the hours of cardio. You're calorically deficient every single day. You're training as hard as you can. So I mean, you have to really have a mentality of do or die, and it's not a lot of people can do it, and I think that's what makes it so special to me, is that not anybody can just walk around and say I'm a bodybuilder, or even say I'm an IFBB Pro bodybuilder. It's a very elite group, and I'm proud to call myself one of those athletes. Growing up, reading magazines, Flex magazine, and buying the Arnold Encyclopedia, I always knew what the Olympia was. I always watched it on TV when it used to be on pay-per-view, but I never really grasped the concept of what it meant to step on that stage. And now to even, I'm in the backstage in the pump-up rooms pumping up with guys that I used to read about in magazines, Dexter Jackson, Branch Warren, Dennis Wolf. I used to look at those guys in the magazines when I was growing up and think, man, I hope I could be there one day. Taking 7th at the Olympia, am I happy? No, because when you turn pro, your goal is to win everything you do. Anything besides taking first or winning is a loss. So to be 7th after taking 13th last year is a huge jump for me, and I just hope it's a step in the right direction. I hope every single year I keep improving until one day I can say that I'm the 212 Mr. Olympia. What I hear so much people say is, I want to be a pro, or I want to be Mr. Olympia. Well, that's great, but there's stepping stones. Too many young kids nowadays want to put the cart before the horse, and that's a big problem. When you start bodybuilding, it's not about going from an amateur to a pro, it's about stepping stones. It's doing your first show, getting your feet wet, learning how to pose, getting nationally qualified, going to a national show, going to a junior national show. Too many people don't put things in perspective and don't do the little things that it does to make it to be a pro or the biggest stage in the world. And I think that's a huge problem, is that these kids look at the magazines and they go, I want to be that, but they don't know the path it takes to get there. And they have to kind of take a step back and realize what it does take to become a pro bodybuilder. BSN is one of my biggest backbones as a bodybuilder. They were the first ones to bring me on as a sponsored athlete, and I signed with Flex magazine not long after. I couldn't ask for a better team. A lot of guys walk around with wearing their colors of the company they're sponsored by, and never take a single ounce of the product that the company hypno And I'm an avid believer and avid user in the NO Explode caffeine free. It's my go-to pre-workout. The Hyper FX I'm starting to use a lot more, because I wasn't really a big fan of stimulants pre-workout, but I started using the Hyper FX and it really got me hooked. The amount of backbone from my team members and the products that I get from being sponsored by such a elite class of products is bar none amazing for me, and it's a dream come true.